Hi, everyone. Welcome to True Disabled Story. My name is Nico, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a white man with parted blonde hair, large blue and brown spectacles, and a white, black, and purple checkered button up shirt. I'm seated indoors against a purple wall and some bookcases. This is my home office. Like roughly 25% of Americans and about 17% of Philadelphians, I'm disabled. And whether we look nationally or locally or globally, disability communities are full of dynamic, diverse, and frankly delightful people with their own stories to tell. All we have to do is listen. Now, folks, I was born with my disability. I've never known differently, which makes me naturally curious about other disabled people's diagnostic journeys. My friend Maddie is the third person to sit with me for True Disabled Story. So it's still early stages, but the questions that I ask and the stories that we'll hear are already taking a shape. I can't wait to see and hear what Maddie has to share with us. Maddie Reardon, hi, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Uh, Maddie, so tell us, what was your path to diagnosis like? Was this like a surprise, totally out of the blue? Was this something that you like maybe were actively pursuing? So, what was that journey like? Paint that scene for us.
Yeah, sure. So I feel like a never-ending journey for me. So to give some background for how it started, I was an athlete my whole life, and I played Division I water polo in college. So my body was sore a lot from just working out and playing games all the time, more than was probably good for me. But it wasn't until a few years later I started noticing small things that I didn't know weren't normal. My hands would start locking up sometimes, my fingers. I started, having like aches and pains that were, at the time, I didn't realize they were worse than what I should have been experiencing. They weren't just aging aches and pains, it was more than that, but I didn't know that. And then it wasn't until my mid 20s when I finally started experiencing even more issues, digestive issues. My migraines were changing, just a whole host of things that I didn't think could be related. And I am lucky enough to have a partner who actually used to work in immunology research. And they were like, um, maybe you have something autoimmune going on. Like, this can't be a coincidence. And so I went to my primary at the time, and we kind of hypothesized that maybe I have rheumatoid arthritis. So she referred me to a rheumatologist who, over months and months, we came to the decision that maybe I have lupus. Started treating that. And then fast forward a few years to last year, um, I moved and have a new rheumatologist who thinks that I not just have lupus, but I also have psoriatic arthritis. um, so I'm lucky to have two things. And then I have, other things going on. I might have cervical dystonia as well, which is something that I have had my whole life, if that is what I have. But didn't know, once again, that what I was experiencing wasn't normal. I didn't know your head's not supposed to get stuck in certain positions sometimes. um, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of where my journey's at. It's lots of figuring it out as we go, trial and error. I have, yeah, a host of other issues that don't have any diagnoses, but probably relate to my autoimmune stuff. So yeah.
Fascinating. Thanks, Maddie. So you've got some diagnoses, for sure, shall we say, and then you've got others that you're kind of like circling around and considering. What what impact has that had on your life to, have to exist kind of in this in-between state? What impact is that?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. I think as time has gone on, because this has been 7+ years now, like it's in the beginning, it was hard for me to validate myself and how I was feeling without having any sort of diagnosis. And then as I went along and felt validated by some of the doctors I had, um, I kind of was able to build and trust myself, like build that confidence in myself. Um, but I think having some diagnoses really initially gave me like kind of a jump start on trusting myself and validating myself and feeling more confident to like advocate for myself at the doctor. Um, yeah, definitely made a difference.
Thank you so much for advocating for yourself in medical settings. That can be a remarkably tough thing to do. So I really appreciate it. If I wore a hat, Maddie, my hat would be off to you. So it really sounds like, Maddie, and I don't mean this in any harmful way, but it sounds like, you're kind of building the plane even as the plane is in mid-flight. Would that be
Yep.
an accurate? Okay, fantastic. So this might be like maybe a difficult question, but looking back, what advice would you give people who are just starting on a diagnostic journey similar to yours? What advice would you have? Or maybe if you could go back all over and do it again, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I think, and this is obviously easier said than done for some people,
Yeah.
but trust yourself because you know your body better than anyone else because you're the one living in it. um, and not to necessarily shade doctors, but they don't know everything and they can't specialize in everything even when they're specialists. um, so it's definitely helpful to seek out support. I think support, like finding other people online or in your local community, can make a really big difference because if nothing else, you have someone to vent to, or at best, you have someone to compare experiences with or bounce ideas off of, to bring up to your doctors. That's something that has helped me a lot, is kind of seeing what others people experiences have been within, the communities of the diagnosis I do have, and seeing what other things have come up for them and how it maybe could be related to what I'm experiencing. Um, so yeah, trust yourself, have a community, can be really, really helpful.
Trust yourself and find community. Yeah, I can that really resonates with me. Fantastic. Thank you. So, Maddie, I really appreciate getting a chance to talk with you. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while now. The reason that I value this conversation so much is that you have like very succinct and comprehensive answers. And I really appreciate that. As someone coming off of like my last meeting of the day, that's really valuable. But to turn it back to our conversation, one question that I ask everybody, regardless of project, is where can people find you online? Share like a recent win about your life. Maddie, this is your chance to really promote yourself, be your own cheerleader, uh, step up on that soapbox and be your own hype person. So please, give yourself a shout out.
Sure. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at chronically mads, MADDS, or on LinkedIn, Maddie Reardon. I post on both. I post the most on Instagram and I post the most honestly on Instagram, but I do share on both platforms. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Maddie, I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you for meeting with me.
Thank you.
All right. Take care now.
Bye.